Hey there, this is Clay, and welcome back to day number 2 on our little series. We're going through the common excuses that people give for wanting to leave a relationship or for breaking up with people. And if you remember, a couple weeks ago, I sent you a little question where I was asking you what was the excuse that your ex gave you for wanting to break up with you. And we got a ton of responses. We got hundreds of responses from people. And we looked through them and we came up with some really common threads. And so this little video series that we're on right now, we're going to be basically answering the most common excuses that people sent in and telling you how you can respond to those so that you can get back together with your ex and move past any excuse that they gave you for breaking up. So the one that we're going to talk about today is that oh, we're just not compatible anymore. Oh, we just don't have anything in common. And we're just too different from each other. And first of all, I want to say that I believe that the whole idea of compatibility is a myth. I think it's an illusion, actually. Really, you can have relationships where one person is completely different from the other and they make it work. Maybe one person is like a vegan, the other person eats meat and has a whole omnivorous diet and everything, but they make it work. They're not like they're butting heads all the time. Or a relationship where like maybe the woman is really outgoing and charismatic and the guy is more kind of shy, reserved, doesn't like to go out very much, stays in and reads books and stuff like that. But they make it work. How do they do it? How do they do it when other people might say, oh, we're just not compatible, we're just too different? And the reason is because I think the whole compatibility thing is really a notion of respect. It's a notion of trusting one another and of really being devoted to one another. Because when you respect someone, when you're first getting to know them, when you're first dating them and all that, all of those differences, all of those quirks, all of those little things that make you seem different are amusing, they're interesting, they're kind of exciting. I'm more of a quiet, reserved person. And Mika's more of an outgoing social person, and I like that about her. I think it kind of teaches me more about myself and teaches me more about how to interact with other people and gets me out of my comfort zone. And I'd like to think that I've taught her more about how to enjoy downtime, how to enjoy just kind of chilling out, reading a book or something like that. I don't know. But there's that whole notion of respect and devotion towards one another that as it deteriorates starts to turn those quirky little differences that may be cute, amusing, fun, interesting, even attractive. It starts to turn them into like, oh, well, we just don't have anything in common. And what you need to do in order to reverse that is you need to really start to build that trust between you and your ex. And you might be thinking, okay, well, how do I really build trust between my ex and I when we're broken up? And the way that you do that is you have to really cultivate the relational skill of commitment and really enforcing your personal boundaries, okay? We've talked about relational skills before, and the one of commitment is really about not necessarily committing to a relationship or to a person or like, yeah, I'm committed to getting my ex back. It's more about committing to your own personal values, your own personal boundaries, your own personal beliefs. And when you can start to do that by using the exercises and skills that we teach you inside of the X Solution program, you can really start to restore the amount of respect and trust that your ex has for you. And when that happens, they'll know that they can't just kind of brush you off or take you for granted or anything like that. And suddenly, all of these differences between the two of you become desirable, attractive things. They become things that can be, cute, fun, desirable, interesting. They can help you learn about one another, and they're not just sort of a blanket statement for trying to get out of a relationship. They're not just an excuse for leaving the relationship. But in order to do that, you have to really accept the idea that compatibility is a myth. So today, right now, what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to make a decision. I want you to decide whether or not you're going to go forward from here still believing that, oh, my ex and I just weren't compatible. You have to find someone who's like a clone of you in order to make a relationship work. And that, compatibility is this, mystical unicorn that I need to spend the rest of my life chasing down. Or I want you to decide if you're willing to learn how to cultivate respect, trust, and devotion in your relationship so that you can get past this compatibility myth and get your ex to respect you more despite the things that may be different between the two of you, so that you can come back together again, so that you can appreciate each other more again, so that you can love each other more again and have another shot at that relationship that you want. And if you'd like that second option, the one I just described, I'd really like to invite you to join us inside the X Solution program, where we can get started teaching you that relational skill so that you can start to move forward with your relationship and your life and bring the two of you back together. Now, like I told you yesterday, you can choose either way. Either you want to believe in the myth or not. And that's totally fine. I respect your decision either way. I just want you to decide today whether or not you believe that you need to constantly look for compatibility in a relationship, or whether or not you would rather just build trust and devotion and respect in your relationship so that you can come back together and heal from the breakup. Again, the choice is completely up to you. I'm not telling you how to live your life. I just think there are certain consequences for different decisions, and I just want you to make that decision today so that you don't have to constantly keep moving forward, deluding yourself, believing into what I personally consider to be a myth, a lie. And again, if you want to learn how to overcome this compatibility myth, get more respect and devotion from your ex, I would really like to encourage you to go ahead and sign up below for the X Solution program. Thanks, and tomorrow we're going to talk about another really common breakup reason, and that is a lack of trust. I just don't trust you anymore. So see you tomorrow then. Thanks.